Hello, and today we're doing a Hot 4 builds video. We're going to be doing stealth melee and non-stealth melee. So the first thing you're going to want to do is put 10 points into strength, just because each point gives us 10% more melee damage. Perception not needed, it's going to be a 95% chance to hit or a 0, depending if you're close enough. Endurance not needed, won't be taking hits. Charisma, I'd rather put my points elsewhere. Intelligence you can do. I'm just going to put 9 points into agility because Gung Fu doesn't work with melee weapons, and I like to put my final points into luck just to get the Idiot Savant perk. You can put them into intelligence if you like a more consistent XP boost, but I just prefer to put them in luck as I'm using a VATS build, so I'll be able to get those critical hits. Now moving on to the perks, you're going to want to use Big Leagues. You can use Iron Fist, however unarmed weapons do not work as well with the ninja, they don't stack. I'll be showing a clip of that now. I'm using the unarmed weapon and I get a 5.4 damage increase, and then I use the melee weapon and I get a 10.6 damage increase. This is with Deegan's perk, which is one you're definitely going to want to get if you plan on using stealth. So carrying on, you're going to want to get Blacksmith just to get the most damage out of your melee weapons. And then you can get Armoured, it's optional. There are mods that help you. You're not going to need it for the damage resistance increase, but more for the helpful stuff, like one increases your sneak speed. Heavy Gunner not needed. Strong Back, it's optional if you want the extra carrying weight. If you don't bother. Steady and Basher, we're not going to be using them. Rooted, definitely for the extra melee damage, and it also works inside of VATS. The final rank you're not going to use, as enemies won't be hitting you with their melee weapons, or they shouldn't be if you're playing stealth right. Pain Train, you're not going to use. I don't tend to use power armor when using melee weapons. That, and you won't really be in power armor. Next on to agility. You're definitely going to want to get Sneak. Mr. Sandman does not work with melee weapons, it only works with weapons that have the silence attachment on. Action Boy, definitely. Ninja is definitely a must have if you want to do the max damage. Doesn't work with unarmed weapons, like I already said. I don't know why this is. They might patch it, or it might be intentional just because Bethesda hates unarmed player. Quick Hands, not needed. You're not going to be reloading with guns. And Blitz is a definitely must have. First off, for the increase in VATS distance with your melee weapons and the increased damage. Then I put my points into luck just so I can get the Bloody Mess and the Idiot Savant for that XP boost. Some melee weapons do require the Science perk, however I would recommend using one that doesn't require this, just so you can save some points. And that and the Combat Knife works really well, as its final mod doesn't require science, and it also gives you a boost to your sneak damage. However, you can do if you really want to use a weapon that requires a science mod. Next on to the aggressive one again. All points in strength. Endurance, I like to put a few points in there just for an extra health boost. Intelligence, I put my points into intelligence. Agility, not really needed. Luck, we're not going to be using that. And then you've got 3 points to spare. You can put these wherever you want. Charisma is a good choice because there is a perk there that helps you. Perception if you want a lockpick. Agility if you want to run slightly further. And then luck if you plan on using some critical hits. I put them into intelligence just because I like the final intelligence perk, and it synergizes really well with a perk you get from Strong. But I'll be going on to that later on in the video. Next on to the perks. First up we have Big Leagues. Again, I prefer Big Leagues over Iron Fists. I find that the melee weapons are a lot stronger than the unarmed weapons. There's a lot more melee weapons. That and the perk for the Iron Fists and the perk for Big Leagues. The Big Leagues perk is miles better, because the Unarmed Fist final rank requires you to both be using VATS and to score a critical hit, whereas the Unarmed perk allows you to just Grand Slam a head clean off, which is a one-hit kill. So it's a chance of getting a one-hit kill or just disarming your opponent, and then it also allows you to do more damage to targets in front of you. So you can do all the same things you can with the Iron Fist perk, however you get a chance to one-hit kill an enemy, whereas the unarmed perk just allows you to paralyze an enemy, and that's only if you're using a critical hit, which also requires VATS. So that's why for big leagues you can use unarmed if you want, however I prefer melee weapons, but that's just my preference. Blacksmith you're definitely going to want to get armoured, because we're going to be taking damage. Especially if you're using unarmed, you're going to want to get Blacksmith, as the Brawler mod increases your unarmed damage by 5. It isn't a percent, it's just an increase of 5 damage. So you're definitely going to want to get that. Blacksmith for the max damage for your melee weapons. Definitely going to want to get that. Heavy Gunner not needed. Again, strong back, it's optional. If you want the carry weight, get it. If you're not bothered by it, don't get it. Steady aim not needed. Basher not needed. Rooted, yes, definitely. The same as in the other build, it increases your melee damage. Pain Train, I don't tend to use power armor using melee weapons. You're definitely going to want to get this if you're using unarmed, as you can't use your unarmed weapons while in power armor. So you end up doing a lot less damage as soon as you get into your side of power armor, even if you upgrade the fists of the power armor. Next, into endurance, I like to get Life Giver just because we're going to be taking some damage, and then I like to get chem resistance just so we don't get addicted to any chems, because that's where we're going to be getting our damage from, taking chems to boost our strength rather than from the ninja. You're definitely going to want to get Medic so we can heal up while taking damage. Hacker, all these perks. You can get Hacker if you want to hack. Science, not Science you can get if you plan on using weapons that require the Science mod. Chemist you definitely want to get, as it allows your chems to last longer, which is always nice. And then I put more points into Intelligence just because I like Nerd Rage. This synergizes really well with Strong's perk, which gives you more melee damage the lower your health is. I think when your health gets below 25%, you do 20% more damage. So if we have 20% less health with the final rank of Nerd Rage, we can be doing 60% more damage with our melee weapons. So I think this is just a really good synergy. And then for those of you who like complete and utter overkill, you can combine these two builds together. So you'll be getting damage from your high strength, from taking chems, and then high damage from doing stealth and getting critical hits. And that's if you just want to be able to one-hit anything that Bethesda can make or even will make in the DLCs, because you'll be doing so much damage. You can also put your points into Charisma and get the Party Boy perk, which will allow you to increase your strength by another 6 when using the Dirty Wastelander drink. And that has been my melee builds. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.